gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. And now, it's time!
And welcome everyone to Circle Debate, the championship on the line at EYR podcast. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is your moderator, the devious one Ivan C. I'm here with my other host, which I'm going to go ahead and introduce them, ladies and gentlemen. But first, the main man, El Mero Vato, because he's a director who directs you everywhere, anywhere. Yes, you, my brother. That's why he is the director, the one and only, ladies and gentlemen, with the phenomenal Mutation song. By the way, Fate Destroyed. You got to listen to that song. Download it. Awesome. It's fun. Chris Kennedy, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. The director.
What up, man? UFC 275 has changed the MMA world again.
That's right. And of course, we have the Modest of Pain that brings the pain to you, especially in that cage and sometimes in the ring. And that's right, ladies and gentlemen. I have Richard and Alex Modest from Championship on the Line podcast. And of course, the phenomenal one, no pun intended, AJ Styles, but he is a phenomenal one that brings you that pain in that cage because he wants to have you release that rage because he is engaged, ladies and gentlemen. Coach Rage, EYR division. That's right. And today we are here to go ahead and recap UFC 275. That is right. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it down to the director, the host with the most. Take it away, sir.
Yeah, it's like the Brady Bunch of Fight Family. What's going on, guys? I watched the entire card start to finish, and like we all said, the fights where you don't know anybody's name often deliver the most, and this was no different. Yeah. Every fight on this card almost had a performance of the night. Every fight that had a finish definitely got the performance of the night, and even handed out some Bitcoin, which I don't know how that works because I am not smart. So we are going to go over our Tapology recap picks for this. We were all faithful to our picks online. We predicted them last Monday and inputted them. And we may or may not have a and new or and still Tapology prediction champion.
I lost the belt. I forgot to put my picks. So
you did not. Yeah, exactly. You definitely forfeited that title there, buddy. You
I know. I fucked up. I was working and I forgot all about it. Jesus.
You had 200 hours.
You did an Alex?
I know. I busted an Alex, man. I hope there's a new champion. I want to see who's going to be the new champ. The world, Tapology world.
Well, champ. I do have the scores and I do have the picks, and we are going to start with my bottom corner over here with Alex with the first fight of the night. Let me bring up what your picks were. And here we go. Oh, come on.
How do you want to look at it?
You don't even Well, I'll have to do the suffering for us. Let me also bring up the actual results to compare them to your results. Cool. And Alex, first fight of the night was Jack Della Maddalena versus Ramazan Emeev. You had Emeev by decision.
Yeah, I mean, with that.
Yeah, so Jack got the first round TKO, and talk about what that pick was like for you.
It's coming from I started doing boxing when I was a little kid. I boxed as an amateur, and I always root for the boxers, always root for the stand-up guys, and I didn't for this one for some reason. I thought that Ramazan was going to wrestle, was going to be able to take him to the ground, and no, he didn't get a chance. I don't even think he even attempted for a takedown. I just think Jack just landed very hard punches and took him out, and Jack looked really good. Got my attention. Now I know who his name is now, so definitely going to be looking out for him in his future fights, but definitely look good against a veteran like Ramazan.
Nice. All right. Let's pull it over now to Richard. I'm getting your tap picks up too.
Sick.
Richard, you had Maddalena by TKO KO round one. That was right on the nose. What did you see happening in that fight? Literally, wow, because that noise.
Yeah.
He lives in Auckland. That nose points to Christchurch.
Oh man, no, like we all talked about his boxing, and then look at his record, how like his knockout rate. I'm like, and the trend of like knocking these guys out early. I'm like, yeah, I think this is the right choice. So I had to choose first round knockout, and I picked right.
You did. That is correct. Yes, sir.
Awesome.
All right, and then on to me, who also had his picks put in. I picked Jack also by TKO, but I had it in round 2. I thought it would take a little bit more time for him to deal with what was inevitable, the ground game from Amiv, which we saw was a threat. He had a beautiful Darce from the bottom he pulled, and like boa constricted him down to the ground. And I thought that was a wrap, son. The only thing scarier than a great striker is a great striker with ground defense. And that is something that I saw in Jack that was like, wow, okay, so if you can get through this Russian snake legit sub attempt and then just get back up and knock him out in the first, that's, I mean, for his, third actual UFC fight and first fight on a pay-per-view, yeah, if I'm in that division, I am watching him and looking for weaknesses. Yeah. And I'm not seeing many if I don't get him to the ground, for sure. But yeah, second round, thought that was gonna be fair, but first round is even better, man. I wouldn't want to be hit by that guy. He just looks like the craziest boxer in the division right now. Let's go. I don't know who you picked, Ivan, because you didn't put your picks in. So do you remember who you picked?
Yeah, I remember. I picked Ramazan because he was a veteran. But shout out to Cage My IQ. Yes, what's going on, brothers? Yes. And I agree with him. What he said.
It was a delayed reaction on the body shot too, because I had to watch the replay to really know what happened. Right, like it hit him, and then obviously liver shots sometimes take a second.
Yes,
or 2 or 3.
It took a little bit longer, like about almost like 2. Yeah, you're right, 2-3 seconds. Because I had to go back
to watch the replay to be like, what hit him? It was because I know he went body to head, and I thought like a headshot hit him or something.
Yeah, no, that body shot he gave him, I think it was the major effect right there. And then that knockout, I was like, oh man. But then, hey, what a debut, right? How they said, bro. What a debut for Jack. Hey, but
pay-per-view card debut, let's be fair.
Yes. Yeah. Indeed, absolutely. Yes, thank you. Yeah. But I picked him, unfortunately, but because it was a veteran move. But Jack, man, wow. I'm looking forward to see what he's gonna bring next, especially in that welterweight division. So I'm looking forward to see he's gonna be upcoming. But I enjoyed it. It was awesome. It was incredible.
Yeah, it is now Wednesday after the fights, and the rankings are probably updated. He's obviously not in the top 15 yet, so I just look forward to seeing who he's taking in that 15, which probably might be next. I mean, maybe. I mean, putting him against Michelle Pereira, who's at 14, would be wild. That would be crazy.
Yes.
That would be – I mean, I don't know if he would take that fight, Michelle, but I would definitely watch it on TV. All right. Coach, I think you kind of were in line with what happened in that fight with a pretty early TKO based on the striking skill.
I got the round wrong, just like you. I picked round 2, and I thought it was going to be a knockout, which I don't know why they're calling it a TKO and not a KO.
Because he's not, I guess, unconscious. I think that's always been the reality.
So the question that we had, or that I had about Jack, was how's his wrestling defense and how is his ground game? His wrestling defense can use some work still, and he's got plenty of time to do that. But his ground game was surprisingly way better than we knew. So his stand-up is phenomenal. His ground game is good. Now, if we can get that wrestling sprawl defense on point, he's going to be a top 5 contender soon, like this year. If he gets the sprawl and brawl going, he's very good. He's very talented. Yeah,
cool, awesome. We're gonna take it right back down to Alex. The next fight of the night got canceled. I didn't look into the details of it. Coach, you got any insight on?
Well, they watched the podcast and they heard that I didn't want to see that fight. I mean, they got severely depressed. One of them was hospitalized for depression, I believe. I don't know. I'm fucking with you guys. No idea what happened.
Let's see here. But there's how it scrapped. kidney issues related to weight cutting, which is what I predicted the moment I saw hospital.
Yeah.
So yes, that is a thing that you can go ad nauseum about. We don't.
And he
need
has a
to get too much
history of
into
not
it.
making weight,
Which
too,
was
so.
which was my whole point about that weight class in the first place.
Exactly.
That's just it's not a legitimate weight class without the massive weight cuts, and just make everyone go up a weight class. We'll have better fights. We'll have better longevity. Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox now.
Yeah. That fight got canceled, but the Jake Matthews Andre Fiallo fight did get moved to the main card, which thank God.
Yeah.
We do have predictions for that, even though we didn't make them on the podcast, but we do have actual scores for that. And we were on Alex, right? Yes.
Don't sleep on the new champ.
Alex, you had Fiallo by TKO round 2. Matthews had it, so.
Yeah, I thought Fiallo.
What did you see that we didn't?
Huh?
What did you see in that prediction and what actually happened?
Yeah, I mean, I thought Fiallo was going to get it done. I mean, he's been ever since the Pereira loss. I mean, I think his last 2 wins were by knockout, so he looked really good. I thought he was. But also too, like Jake Matthews is very tough, and he also comes to strike, just like Fiallo. So we knew it was going to be an exciting fight, just a slugfest. And Matthews. With Fiallo, I noticed that he's very good putting pressure, and that's pretty much where he gets his knockout. He puts the pressure in, but when he's fighting backwards, he kind of struggles. And Matthews put him against the cage, did work, got him out, and that was it. I mean, he just overpowered him with his punches. And, I think with Matthews now, like, it's like there's times where he's doing really, really well. He's getting wins, and then he'll lose, and then he'll come back with a winning streak, and then he'll lose. So, like, hopefully with this fight, he'll start to get momentum and get some wins and fight in the top rank. Some top rank fighters. Because honestly, I would like to see him fight Jack Manolita. I think a fight between him and Jack Matthews, I think will be very, very exciting. Both strikers, and I think that'll be very exciting.
Love it.
Cool. Let's move over to Richard. Man, I have everybody's. There we go. I gotta put these all like in one clump. You had also Fiallo TKO round 2. Would you conspire with your brother? You just like let's just make the same pick.
Yeah, right. I thought he was gonna take it, but Jake comes out, second round knockout. I know he's trying to be. Obviously, they're all trying to be contenders. I know he came off a loss to Sean Brady, I believe. So he had to come back with a big win. So getting a second round win, very much deserved. And like Alex said, I would like to see him fight Jack. I think that'd be a fun fight.
That is a fight night pay-per-view or not.
I would love to see that.
That is a fight night main card or main event, in my opinion. You can make that
for sure.
You can put that on ESPN Plus for free or $5.99. And I wouldn't be like that doesn't make sense. That would make perfect sense for sure.
Oh yeah, and like you said, these guys that people are like, oh, you don't know, and now you know them now. If you don't know, now you know. So
yeah, absolutely. And I've watched Jake Matthews for a long time. I think he's been in the UFC for a while, and I don't know if this is his original.
He's been a while. He's a veteran.
I'm gonna look. It's been a minute, right? Like he's one of the first, I think New Zealand or Australian standouts since like George Soteropoulos.
Yeah.
Oh man, George.
I'm just gonna look back and see when his first fight was. Fucking 2014. Yeah, that is exactly what I thought.
Yeah.
God damn, 8 years, and the kid's only like not even 30. Dude, he debuted at 19. Dude,
Wow.
he debuted in the UFC. In the UFC, he had like 9 fights before that. Not counting
graduated high school.
Yeah. That is weird, wild stuff. That is, that kid, I knew he was, and he debuted at lightweight, like I thought. And I noticed in this fight that he is looking thicker than a Snicker, which is what happens when you grow up. You get bigger, Still waiting for Izzy to put on that weight, even though he's 40. All right, cool. And for my prediction, I had Matthews by decision. I just looked at his veteran status as to getting him through that fight. But he pieced him up with patience. I think I texted Coach. That was like patience and persistence, and he knew when to put the pressure on and when to lean back. And he just was calculated and had killer instinct and finished it in the second. You know, he didn't rush it, but when he saw the moment to finish the fight, he took it, and that was his case that night for sure. Main event status for Jack Dale Malady would be fantastic. Ivan, did you have any thoughts on this fight? Did you put?
Oh man, I can tell you that Matthews. It's been a while. We haven't seen him. Right? It's like quite some time we haven't seen him.
His last fight was over a year ago. Yeah, it was March 2021.
Yeah.
Sean Brady, which
yes,
it's a long layoff.
Yeah, that's way of a long layoff. But yes, I agree with what you just said, Chris, about being patient and persistent and right on the money, man. And that knockout, and as you can see, it was performance of the night. Jesus, that was a hell of a knockout. I did not expect that. I was expecting Andre to put a little bit more of a fight, but you know, Jake was really, really calm and really patient and found the opening, and he just took advantage of that. So I kudos to Jake, and I mean him and Jack. Oh, I would love to see that too. I think who wouldn't want to see that?
I'm already party waters for that fight. I don't see how that fight doesn't happen. That's
right.
Sean Shelby, whatever continent they booked that on, make it so. You know. All right. Next fight of the night was
Hold on, you forgot.
Oh, sorry, Coach. My bad. He's been so quiet for the first time in his life. I just forgot he was there.
What's good? What's good? Rest of the Glory podcast was went on. Then Mike De Niro.
So, I kind of forgot about Jake Matthews, honestly.
Yeah.
The one thing that I appreciated is his post-fight interview. He was saying he was watching the younger version of himself, and there was an aggressiveness that he lost, that he became a little hesitant in his technicality, which is actually not uncommon. It's a fairly common phase in fighting to start out super aggressive, but then be a little sloppy. So then you become over technical and lose some of that aggressiveness. So he found that piece that he lost, and I see good things happening for this kid. Really like him. Andre Fiallo had a lot of hype coming in, but he keeps failing to deliver. And if he loses his next fight, he's probably going to be cut from the promotion.
Oh, Bellator.
They're still running cards, right?
Yeah.
I haven't seen any ads.
Oh man.
I'm not even talking shit, man. I used to see ads, and now I don't. Maybe I just.
That's one thing I agree with them, that they don't promote very well. Like their fights.
Hey, they have the hottest new prospect, Melvin Manhoff.
I don't know if Bellator is still on Spike. If it's on
Showtime.
It's on Showtime.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that. Last I checked, it was not that. I think. I don't know.
Is Spike still a channel?
No,
I don't know.
I don't think it exists anymore. But
well, I was watching Elite XC last time. Spike was I'm kidding. Man, do I miss shit like that? Like the good old days of trying to get network MMA, Elite XC. What's that bullshit with the tag teams and the coaches?
IFL.
God damn, was that a letdown? I watched that for 10 seconds. I was like, no. It was highlights of fights. That's all it was. It was just highlights. They wouldn't even show real fights. Anyways.
Yeah. Wait, was that the one like with the silverbacks and the
the silverbacks,
yeah.
And like it was like it wasn't even gyms. It was just coaches with like 5 guys, and it was like a round robin tournament, and it was
like Shamrock.
They would do shit like, for the first time ever, next week, Ken Shamrock versus Frank Shamrock. And then it would just be their team's face.
The teams.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
And it would just be highlight reels. That's it.
Yeah. I actually had friends and training partners go into that league, and at least they got paid.
Yeah, there's some fighters in that. I mean, they came out of there that I loved.
Yeah.
And Inja Kawani, Ryan Schultz, Chris Rodecki, the Miller brothers, obviously, were some probably the biggest standouts that actually came out of that company. But we're gonna go back to UFC. Oh,
okay.
Yeah. I know my IFL. Don't worry about it.
Damn.
Yeah, that's Ryan Schultz was the first guy to beat Chris Wardesky, who faked his ID. He actually was fighting in the IFL at 16 with a fake ID, which is why he looked so young.
That's cool.
Because he was.
Yeah.
All right. First rematch, only rematch on the main card. Joanna Jędrzejczyk versus Zhang Weili. I got some predictions pulled up right here. Let's go with, I think we've been doing Alex first, right? Yeah. You had Jędrzejczyk by decision. Close. Almost.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the layoff would have, helped her. I thought she would have won by decision. I thought she would have outstriked Weili, but I was freaking wrong on that one. But Weili, we looked good and caught her with that spinning back fist. Did not see that. I mean, I didn't even see that coming. I mean, she just threw it so fast. She threw it so perfect and knocked her out. And I remember telling Rich, I'm like, watch her retire about this loss, because switch with the layoff and then come now with this loss, Weili. I mean, it sucks, but I think it was probably time. I think.
So you don't see her coming back anytime soon. You think she's going to go out to that nice apartment in Poland that she bought but never slept in?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, you could see it when in her speech too. Yeah, I think she's just done.
Yeah, she was very high. She was. I don't want to say she was excited for the loss, but she was definitely looking forward to having some time away for sure. She was like, I finally get to spend all this money I've been making, which is good for her.
She's been investing though, right? She owns a company, right? I think she does, or what is it that she does on the side?
So, yeah.
She models, kind of.
I know. Besides model, and then something else, right?
I don't know what that is. I'm sure she does though.
Okay.
But she looked physically good. She looked the most in shape she'd looked, and she always looked in shape. But she did look toned. She did look cut. She did look like she took the layoff seriously, and like this was something she wanted to do. It didn't look like she was just Nick Diazing the fight and just showing up. So kudos to her, definitely. Richard, you had Zhang Weili by decision. Right winner, wrong outcome.
Yeah. I thought it would go the distance. I thought it would be like the last fight. Especially with, like everyone saying, Joanna looked great shape. They both looked great. So I thought Joanna was going to stand up and go the distance and be a strike fest. But Zhang Li was, wrestling her and being smart and really wearing her out. I think every minute of the fight was just so technical. The way she was breaking it down, wearing her down with the takedowns, being heavy, and then with the close exchanges, throwing side kicks, throwing it pretty much anything she wanted to. And she damn well pleased was landing on Joanna at one point. And out of nowhere, she just throws this spinning back fist and knocks her out. I mean, she was really having her way with her, and it was just a matter of time where she was going to stop the fight. She was pretty much dictating it. Joanna was trying to put a fight, but it just wasn't enough. And we'll see Weili's off to pretty much number one contender now.
Yeah, she definitely. I don't know. I don't think Carla has anyone lined up besides. I don't know if they're going to do the rematch with Rose before this. Either one of these two fights.
No rematch, damn it. No rematch. Right? No. Just have her fight Weili for God's sake. That's it. No rematch.
That's what Dana said.
It's going to happen eventually. Rose is definitely going to fight Carla or Zhang eventually. It's going to happen. I don't know who Rose is would fight next besides one of those two. Marina Rodriguez, maybe. I don't know if she'd want to lose her.
Yeah. It looked right on point.
Mackenzie Dern would be a fantastic fight, but would she want to take a number 4 spot? She's already beaten Andrade. She's beaten most of the people outside of the top 5, besides Marina and Mackenzie and Jan. So we will see. I would love to see if Wang or Zhang fights Carla Esparza. I would love to see that fight.
Mm-hmm.
For this particular fight, I had Weili by decision. I thought that she just had her number in the tactical sense of the word, but she definitely was physically stronger and dictated where things went. When she wanted to get up, she got up. When she wanted to go down, she went down. When she wanted to hit you, she hit you. And it was I don't want to say it was a tactical move. It was a very fantastic advantage to take that spinning back forearm elbow. It wasn't exactly set up. She was in the right place at the right time, and I'm not calling it lucky at all. But it was violent, and even Joanna said that like she knew immediately, like she watched herself fall to the floor and couldn't do anything about it. She just saw the floor getting closer, and she's like, "Damn it, that's it." And that just wild finish to someone who's only been finished once in her entire professional fighting career, now 2 times. So, yeah, I don't think the losses to Rose got too much inside Zhang's head. I would love to see that 3rd fight eventually, but we'll see what's next for both of them. One of them's getting Carla. I just flip a coin. I don't know which one's which.
Very quick. Do you agree what Cage Mayashi said that back fist was a Pettis and Horiguchi esque?
Did Pettis finish Horiguchi with that fight? Was that back in WEC?
Yeah, it's been back fist.
Yeah. I'd have to go back and watch it. It has been a minute since Pettis has done anything that mattered. So, I don't even know if that might have been in the WEC, right?
Yeah.
No.
Was that in UFC?
What?
Wait, Pettis versus Horiguchi?
Yeah.
That's Bellator.
Was that recently?
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
it was recently.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
right.
became the
Which
champion.
Pettis?
Sergio.
Oh, Sergio. Oh, no wonder.
Sergio.
Then I did not see that fight. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm not going to
Same weight class. No, not quite. Almost the same weight class.
Okay.
10
Yeah,
pounds
it was a few
different.
months ago. Come on, guys.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not going to pretend that I saw
Oh,
that
my
fight. So I'll have to watch that to get a comparison. Sorry about it. But yeah, probably. Sergio's pretty good. I mean, they're both in Bellator for a reason. So cool.
Yeah.
Coach, your thoughts on that fight?
Oh, Ivan doesn't get to talk?
No, he didn't do his pick.
I just put my pick.
I got 5 grown ass adults here. I got to try and moderate here. So Ivan, you can go first.
What the fuck are you talking about, grown ass adults?
See, I can't even moderate the non-adults.
You see, you got Coach going.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah, Coach going that word. Oh shit! Oh man, there's nothing much to say. I mean, like it was expected. I picked Zhang to win. I mentioned last week. Did
anyone pick a finish for her though, or
I picked her by decision? So
okay.
I did,
Yeah.
but I want her because I mentioned it. She needs this win. She cannot afford to lose it because then she'll be out of title contention. And now that her, winning this fight. I mean, seeing the comments there, from Cage, IMIQ saying that it could be, Marina and Zhang. That would be great to see. I think I would like to see Marina and Zhang, but
Carla just take some time off and wait for the winner of that.
I wouldn't mind seeing that.
Rose while that's happening and the winner of that.
If she's gonna do a rematch, do it a fight night. It's not worth putting on a fucking pay-per-view card.
I don't hate that, but Dana does.
But you saw Dana in a post conference for
so
that fight.
So do the fighters. If the champion sometimes can get points on the pay-per-views. I mean, it's hard to negotiate to get, but if that were the case, they would obviously want it to be a pay-per-view. But don't make it the main event. Put that at we haven't had a 3 title card in a while, and I do love those super cards. It's the first of the 3 title fight main card.
I agree. I can agree with that. They can even put it in the same card. That
would be great.
Yes,
that would be permanent bracket.
See, absolutely. But yes, Zhang, what a incredible work. That fist, that back fist. Yes, Joanna should retire. She said she will. That she's gonna retire, but who knows? I think this is a 50-50. I think she might come back. I have a feeling that she will. I would say financial reasons, possibly, maybe that she'll come back, but I don't think she wants to go out this way. But who can? I mean, her credentials are already there. There's no other way. I mean, in my opinion. She's
done everything you could do.
Yeah, absolutely. She did everything what she's done. She had incredible fights. Moments.
World champion.
World champion in her career too. So I mean. It's up to her, and if she does retire, congratulations for her career, and I wish nothing for the best. But if she comes back, well, let's see who she's gonna be facing next. But yeah,
that's definitely. I don't know if she does come back, it's not gonna be top 5. I don't know, maybe we'll see.
Oh, I did forget about that. She did say I want to have babies. I did. Yeah. She did. What's going on? Jump on the ring. That's right.
Oh.
This is right. And they announced Sterling and Dillashaw, by the way.
Announced who?
Sterling versus Dillashaw.
Okay. Was that right now? I have like Bleacher Report.
Yeah, I guess he's on it. Dan is on it, man. He's on it.
Hey, man, like, I'm a Dillashaw fan. Like, besides him being on all the cocktails in the world for about 2 years, anyone who can do what they did to Cody, yeah, I'm cool with. And he didn't test for those fights, so I think he's kind of in the clear on those. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Is that how that works?
That's how that
Besides
works.
the drugs.
September 10th is the fight. They announced it for September 10th.
Nice. Cool. I'll watch that for sure. Coach, your thoughts on this implicated fight?
So I predicted Weili by a boring decision. Yeah, I thought the fight was going to be a lot closer and a lot more boring than it was. Joanna was much worse than I expected, and Weili was slightly better than I expected. Yeah. So this fight, this entire card was both my wives were home and we all watched it, which usually one of my wives works pretty late, so this was kind of special. They both got really upset at Weili like setting the oil check record for the UFC. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Who set what? These two women set a new record for UFC?
Weili
No, I heard
set a record for the longest oil check.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I
drove
just
through
that.
I kind of see it, sort of, but not really. No?
I did, yes.
I want to see the exchange where it happened because.
Yeah, just anytime they were on the ground, pretty much. She was
full thumb.
Yeah, I mean it was the six pack or the bowling ball. It was like fuck.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, if ref doesn't see it, isn't that the rules?
The ref doesn't call it. Yeah. So, but anyway, both my wives got really upset about that. And then then Taryn said, "Boogie woman, businesswoman is coming for you."
Oh man. Love it.
All right. First title fight of the night: Shevchenko versus Talia Santos. Let's see who Alex picked. Alex, you got Shevchenko TKO round 3. It went all 5. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this.
Yeah, it's disappointing. I thought Talia did enough to win. I thought she did enough. I think she controlled and took a lot of the rounds of just taking her down and having control. It's crazy, man. We never really seen Shevchenko in those situations ever. I mean, for Talia to do that, I mean, it's just and plus with her eye too. Pretty much, I think it was a headbutt that caused that for her to keep going and go through all 5 rounds and did what she did against Shevchenko. It's it's amazing, and just it sucks. I mean, I thought she did enough to win. I think there will be a rematch. And yeah, I mean, it's a shame, but I thought she did enough to win the belt. But yeah,
gotcha. Richard, you had Shevchenko TKO round 3 also.
Yeah, I think most of us thought she was a steamroller. I mean, the way she is her last, few fights, Valentina looks unstoppable. But every dog has a day and has a puncher's chance. We thought, Santos comes out there wrestling and putting Valentina in uncomfortable positions and really dragging her deep in that water. And Valentina's struggling. I mean, she's human. We're seeing it for the first time. She's struggling and she's trying to get off her feet and strike and just wasn't doing enough at a couple rounds. But I thought Santos took it as well. I thought she did enough. It's one of those fights probably have to look back and watch it a couple more times. I just saw a comment right now. I think it was Cage IQ said that Valentina did enough by volume. So that's a possibility. Maybe she did do enough, but I thought Santos won. The crowd thought Santos won as well.
Yeah. I like to think I know what I'm watching when I watch MMA, and I like to think that my opinions when the fight is over are pretty close to accurate. And I completely was questioning my entire life after this fight. I'll have to rewatch it, but I honestly thought it when I heard split, I was appalled and still thought it was going to Talia. I don't know what I was watching because every round, Talia was closer. She was within seconds of finishing that fight at least once in every round and had at least one takedown in every round. I think I'll have to go back and watch. And no, I don't care about fight metrics. If judges don't look at the fight metrics, then I don't care. One punch can knock you out. 1,000 jabs can barely do a bruise, which is why fight metrics do not work, in my opinion. Coach, you can call me out on that one if I'm wrong. But yeah, I was surprised that it was even a split, and then I was surprised that Valentine. I was letting my heart go. I was like, "Wow, all right, okay, this one hurts a little bit, but I'm gonna have to accept it that someone came in here. Number 8 came in and beat the most dangerous woman on the absolute planet, maybe in the galaxy. And yeah, I'll have to rewatch it. Maybe. I still don't know what happened with the judges. I guess I'm wrong. I guess a couple leg kicks and a jab or two and a headbutt is way better than almost losing every round by choke. In my, so I'm wrong. I thought that Valentina lost that fight pretty clearly. I'm bittersweetly relieved that she still kept the belt because I do love her as a fighter, but I don't think that was the right call. Kudos to Talia. Talia threatened in every position, but I mean, she didn't really threaten on the feet, but then honestly, neither did Shevchenko. She threw like a really slick spinning back kick like she always does. That landed a couple jabs. I think a leg kick here and there. She kept her backing up maybe. Maybe she chased her a little bit more. That was about it. And my prediction for that was Shevchenko by TKO round 3, much like everyone else thought. And I'm glad I picked the right winner. I just don't think it was the right call.
I love it.
There you go.
Your thoughts and prayers on the situation.
Brother, man, I'm with you. I know watching the fight and seeing it, I was shocked the fact that to see Talia put a hell of a performance. And I really question, so I don't know if you guys do so as well. Did that headbutt not happening to her? Because this fight could have been different. Maybe. Because, now with one eye. Could have been different, maybe, just a little bit. Because this is what I think. I think we all know that Shevchenko is well-rounded all around, standing and on the ground. Santos, I guess, was more testing the waters mostly on the ground than her on her feet. And she did incredible work against Shevchenko. And she actually had her numbered. And how, they mentioned that, that the crowd was really behind her. And I was too. And I was really for her. So I was really impressed. And I'm hoping they give her a rematch.
Fight on my ESPN. Thank you.
And I'm hoping we see a rematch. And I hope we do. Because I think this time, if the rematch does happen, I have a feeling that this time Santos will win it. I think she'll take the belt. And I think they should give her a rematch. And I hope she does get it because she deserves to be, that number one contendership for it. Because she did give, Shevchenko something to fight for. And even her, she was shockingly surprised that, the performance that Santos put on her. So, yeah, I know that you mentioned that it should have been maybe, the other way around, crowning a new champion.
Yeah, I didn't even see it being a split. I thought it was going to be unanimous. So, yeah.
Me too. I thought it was going to be unanimous. And it would have shocked the world, and I would have been happy. But regardless, I would have been happy to see her winning the belt. But I have a feeling we are definitely going to see a rematch. There has to be a trilogy for this fight. That's how I feel about it. But
yeah, but as of this week, I think a couple days ago, we just got a fight that I think is going to be next for Shevchenko, and that is Andrade replaces Caitlin Jukagian versus Menon Fiort. I think the winner of that is next for Valentina. I think I think Talia stays at number 8 right now because her ranking didn't really move up because she didn't lose to a lower ranked opponent.
Yeah.
So obviously Caitlin was number 1. She's injured. Sorry. No, actually, I'm wrong. Talia did move up. She went up to number 2, but she was number 8 in pound for pound. That's what I was looking at.
Oh yeah,
something like that, something weird. But I think the Menon versus Andrade, that's a title eliminator for sure.
Yeah.
At least if Manon wins that fight. I mean, if they're just giving anyone who Shevchenko hasn't already fought title fights, if she wins that fight against Andrade, that's definitely a thing in the bag. And Coach, your thoughts on this very prolific fight? I mean, not prolific, polarizing.
Yeah. So before I rewatched it a few times, and I watched it so much I hate it now. And I took notes round by round. But first,
did you watch it with the audio off at any point?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Good. Then you really know what you're doing.
Yeah, commentary bothers me most of the time. So I have my, because when I watched it, I gave it to Bullet. I gave it to Valentina. But it should have been a draw. But one of the problems with MMA, so MMA got the 10 must scoring system from boxing, which is kind of dumb. I think judging is lame and stupid. And for anyone that is watching right now, I'm a professional. This is what I do. This is my job. I coach, I teach. I think if you don't win, you lose. But that's not the sport. That's not the entertainment business that we are currently engaged in. The problem with taking the 10 must system from boxing, first of all, taking anything from boxing as far as like a business or a sport, boxing is disgusting. It's corrupt, but it's possible and common to score boxing as a draw, because it's early pros, it's 4 rounds, then 6 rounds, then 10 rounds, then 12 rounds. So it's always an even number of rounds. So it can be scored as a draw. In MMA, it's 3 rounds or 5 rounds. So the only time it gets scored as a draw is when a point is deducted, when there's a 10-8. But when a fight like this, where it really makes sense to score it as a draw, it's very difficult to do that. And the judges have to do a 10-9 must. So a judge can't watch a round and say, oh, that round was a draw. So here's the thing. Are we watching MMA? How do we judge? What are we judging, right? Effective striking, effective grappling, and octagon control. In that order.
Not damage, things that, matter. Volume,
Well, so damage is a part of effective, right? Effective is subjective, but a damaging strike.
Yeah, and damage is very objective. Like I said a second ago, is like one jab can knock you out, or 1,000 punches could do 0 effect. You could show look at Cabbage Carrera. That guy took mad shots and never ever had a welt.
Yep. So the judging is subjective. And what's effective grappling? So
real quick on that, how do you compare effective grappling to effective striking? Because the conversation for that real quick is always, is half a takedown better than a light jab, or is a full takedown equal to a full jab or a head kick? Like, what standard of measurement do you have for successful grappling and striking?
Exactly.
We're on the same page on that.
The other thing that happened when the MMA rules got hashed out and made, when MMA, it's disproportionately favoring grapplers. The rules were negotiated, and there were more grapplers present, and the Gracies had a strong influence. So like the 5-minute round is better for grapplers than strikers. And the rule set, a lot of the rules protect the grapplers, right? Kicking down to opponents, no knee strikes to, so the thing is, what is effective grappling in a grappling competition is not necessarily effective grappling in MMA. And for grappling to be effective, you either need to secure the position and dominate the position. So like in round 1, Santos took back control, reverse mount, and then was struggling to try and get the rear naked choke. Now, most people cannot finish the rear naked choke with just one arm. They need two arms for it to work. And what Bullet did was she controlled the non-choking wrist, left the arm around her throat, and punched Santos in the face. So for the last 90 seconds of the round, Santos was holding on to Shevchenko and securing back mount, but not threatening a submission and getting hit in the face the entire time. So
And
how do you
score
that?
The takedown that initiated that position was a failed lateral drop by Shevchenko, where Santos ended up in mount. So, I mean, do you like baseball? There's errors. Do you count that as an error, or do you count that as a takedown? Is it just a bot?
Now that would be cool but see, judges aren't well enough educated or no, seriously.
No, that's my favorite sentence in MMA right now. I mean, ever.
Well, the sport's only 25 years old, right? So baseball has been around. and the way the judges are assigned, it's through a sanctioning body run by a state government. So a lot of the judges are there for knowing the right people, for favoritism, for nepotism. And there's not like a standardized test or a license that you take. It's just kind of like, oh, you're a judge now. So
yeah, my tattoo artist has been to Herb Dean's seminars for how to be a judge and how to be a ref, and they have Q&As, and basically they did not ask him back to like the second seminar because he asked too many questions that questioned the rules.
Yes.
Because you raise your hand, you ask a question, and he had a lot of questions that made a lot of sense, and they didn't want to answer them, and they basically just refused to invite him back.
There you go.
I would love I can have him on the podcast to talk about it.
I think that's a good idea. We might get shadow banned, but
I mean, you might. I don't even matter. I'm just a guy.
So I would have liked to have seen this scored as a draw, but round one, Bullet won the first 3 minutes and 30 seconds of the round. She won all the striking, and any striking that occurred, she won it. But so the first 3 minutes and 30 seconds of round one, Bullet won. Then she made that error, and then the last 90 seconds of the round is what I already described, where Santos is holding back control but getting hit in the face.
Yeah.
So how do you score that, right? And when I say she won the striking, it wasn't like, oh my God, the entire fight should have been a draw. It was impressive because Santos was doing it to Shevchenko, and nobody's done anything like this to Shevchenko. But it was actually a miserable fight to watch. Right? Like,
I agree with that.
The striking wasn't phenomenal.
No.
It was actually Carla, but it wasn't Shevchenko traditionally.
Thank you.
Agreed.
So I gave round one to Bullet. And then round two and round three were even more difficult to score. So I'm just going to read my notes if that's okay.
Yeah.
First 30 seconds, ineffective striking. So the first 30 seconds of the round, nothing really happened. It was some not very good striking. Then Santos wins cage clinch control and then gets the takedown. But Santos could not secure top guard. So there's a difference between being in somebody's guard or being in control of the guard on top. And she never got her base under her. She never controlled the position. And Bullet was very active on the bottom guard, landing punches and elbows. So again, doing lots of not damage, but active, right? Landing punches and elbows, and landing elbows from bottom guard. That that hurts. She tried a submission. She tried the go-go plata. It failed.
That had me freaking out because
Yeah.
I can't even. The last time I saw a go-go plata in the UFC, not the Pride reference visiting made, which I understood, but was like Jeremy Horn versus Chael Sonnen, like in 2000.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
It wasn't even a go-go plata. It was some weird shit that he made up that just looked like
Jeremy Horn. Wow. That.
Yeah, man, that dude only drank. That guy only drank Mountain Dew, man, and he looked like it.
Man, thanks for making me feel old.
I made the reference. What do you think I am? That might have to have been. That was like UFC 55. I'm gonna look that up.
So then, the ref Herzog stands them up. Right. So that means the ref is watching and saying,
2006 UFC 60. I was close.
The ref is watching the fight, and he says, "This is ineffective. The person on the bottom is not doing enough work. The person on top is not being effective." So it was kind of a stalemated guard. Herzog stands him up. Then Bullet, head and arm throw, attempts to get Kaskatami position, but gets reversed. And then they end up back in guard position, and time runs out. But again, Santos, being in top guard, never had control of Bullet's hips. She never had control of the guard position. So it was. It's not effective. It's not effective grappling. So here's the thing, though. In my notes,
effective striking, lay him down. Come on,
exactly.
Now.
Exactly. Well, the striking was ineffective, right? So there's 30 seconds of ineffective striking, and then the rest was like a mess grappling. So how do you score that round? If you have to give it to somebody, I gave it to Santos because her reversal, and she was at least. It's better to be top guard position and not have control of the guard than to have somebody in bottom guard, unless it's Damian Maia. Then round two, the first 2 minutes, Bullet won the striking, and then she got a takedown, but she didn't secure it. Nothing happened. But then Santos wins the cage battle. And here, Bullet made several errors. When she was against the cage, her head position was wrong and her hand position was wrong. So because of that, Santos gets the takedown, controls for a minute, tries the rear naked choke, then ends up controlling the back position. Now, rounds 2 and 3, I really would have wanted to score as draws. It's not possible, so I gave it to Santos. And then rounds 4 and 5, Bullet clearly won. Because Santos got one takedown in round 4, but only 10 seconds of control and like minuscule ground and pound. Now, so that's, anyway, the things that we saw with Shevchenko, up until this fight, I thought, okay, this is the best martial artist I've seen. This is the pound for pound greatest. And now it's like, oh, well, okay, she's somewhere on that list, but she's not as phenomenal as we thought. Big hole in her striking game. And it's because she's such a good counter striker, she's lost the pressure fighting. She's lost her seek and destroy ability that she used to have. But now she's so heavily reliant on counter striking. This fight, she needed to be a pressure fighter, and she wasn't able to do that. And then with the technical errors on the cage work, and she made a tactical error in round 5, where she decided to go again for the takedown and burn out the clock from half guard, rather than trying to get the kill, trying to get the finish. She had no reason to believe that she was ahead on the scorecards. There's no reason to believe that the judges were giving her more rounds than Santos. So that was a huge tactical error. She just happened to get lucky and get the decision. Yeah, so that's my opinion.
So with all of the fights Shevchenko's had in her entire career, county kickboxing, professional, amateur, this one fight is the one that kind of tarnishes that diamond legacy of her being a great fighter, or do you think it's
she's a great fighter.
Okay.
But this is the one that shows, oh, okay, it's a strength of schedule issue more so than her incredible ability, right? Because she gets away with shit because the girls the women that she's fighting aren't necessarily good enough to take advantage of it. And she's usually the stronger fighter, where Santos was bigger and stronger, and she didn't do as well. So, I'm not saying, she's terrible, but she's just not as phenomenal as I thought she was. Because those were at this level, those small errors are big errors, right? Every little mistake. But when you're making positional errors, when you're making technical errors, and when you're making tactical errors, whoa, that's champions aren't supposed to do that.
Agree with that. I feel like Santos' corner was really nervous too, because this is a big title contention for them.
Yeah.
I can literally tell they were nervous as hell, and even at Santos,
they were screaming at her.
They were yelling and shit. Oh my god, I've never seen that.
They forgot the mouthpiece.
Yeah, and that was a big error right there too.
Yeah. The other thing that I think is important to this fight is that the judges are sitting cage side watching what's happening, and they don't hear the commentary, they don't see the replays, they don't know the fight metrics. So when Santos's face was swelling up, they probably thought that was from the punches, that they probably thought that was legit damage from the striking. But how tough? Okay, so the reason I had to retire from MMA is because I shattered my eye socket. I blew out every bone in my left orbital. Santos fractured her eye socket in the fight and kept getting hit there and hung in there, right? Yeah. So, damn, girl. Now, can I say, unfortunately, those type of injuries do not age well. They don't recover well. She had surgery the night of, and it's not a great surgery. It's not a great percentage of recovery from the surgery. So the version of Santos that we saw, we might not get to see again, which is really unfortunate. But it's a crazy sport we do, right?
Yeah.
Damn. I'm sad now.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh. Well, you're gonna get sad when let the host take care of that.
You can't imagine how many fighters there are that train and have talent and put everything and they get to almost breaking through, and then a knee injury, a back injury, a neck injury, or an eye injury, and it's over. It happens all the time in boxing. Man, there's so many guys that unbelievably talented that we've just never even heard of.
TJ Grant, fucking was on the verge of a title shot, and
oh my gosh,
started getting concussions and headaches in the training camp leading up to the fight, and haven't been seen since.
Yep.
Could have been a champ. Could have been a contender.
I could have been somebody.
Cut me, Mick, cut me, which is not a real thing. All right, so we are now on to our main event of the night and fight of the year candidate. Probably, I think fight of the year, not even close. Second, I mean, maybe the Justin Gaethje Chandler fight, but this is a storied fight for sure. And Alex, you had Teixeira round 2 submission. I mean, not crazy.
No.
Yeah, but before Alex answers, everybody, I know you were. Everybody was. My bad, Alex. Go ahead.
Yeah, I never yelled so much at the TV. Yeah, man, it was hard to watch. Glover fought even though he lost, he fought a really good fight. He really did. Especially when he's like what, 42, 40, what is he?
42,
right? Not 97.
But
Fight
definitely
years.
fought a really good fight. I just pissed me off in the last round. I know he wanted to play it safe, but I think he should have just kept it on the feet. Yuri was very tired in that 5th round. Had caught him. Yuri was hurt. I think he was just probably a couple more combinations. I think he would have put him out and it would have been over. He took him down. Again, I think he just wanted to play it safe. But then again, I think Glover didn't expect Yuri to go for a submission attempt. That's why I think he left it open, but Yuri took advantage of it, grabbed it, squeezed, and tapped him out. Which I was heartbroken because I wanted Glover to win, especially with only 30 seconds left of the fight. I was like, really? Because I'll be honest, I've done that in matches where I'm winning and I'm like, I'm tired. I'll get out of the submission, I get it, and then I tap out and I'm done. I'm like, geez, freaking, and that's what happened with Yuri. Yuri, grabbed it. I think Glover didn't think he was gonna tap. I think Glover was like, oh, I'll fight it off. I'll pull the hand and get out. And no, Yuri did not. Yuri kept holding on and got him out and became the new champ.
That's true. Totally, that's exactly what happened. Richard, you had Prochazka submission round 1. What the fuck? Is that what you said on the podcast? Did you say that?
I'm not surprised.
Go back to the tape. I'm not
Rewind it. Mind games. No, I was kidding. I mean, I think I did that. Might have done that by accident, but I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna say I picked the right decision. Might have been surprised. Wait a second.
That's fucking bullshit.
Oh man, I picked the right winner. I'm like, oh fuck, submission. Oh,
that's what I got. I got submission round 1 for Yuri.
Oh man, for sure. I mean, I thought originally Glover's gonna take it, and then I'm like, no, Jerry's gonna get it by knockout. And then midway to the 2nd round, I'm like, Glover's gonna take this by submission. And I can see Alex also picking submission too. If you look, he has 33 wins, 10 by submission, and literally his last 7 fights, 5 of those wins are by subs. So most of those 10 submissions came recently late in his career. So, and then the position he was getting where the rear naked, and then he was getting
so many opportunities to finish him too, man.
So many opportunities. I'm like, he's gonna submit it. I'm like, this Jerry's not gonna get out of this fight without getting choked out. But Jerry kept on fighting. Both guys have reversals. I mean, one point I love that Glover hit like a duck under. That was just beautiful and got his back. Then the 5th round, Glover goes. I thought the same thing too. I'm like, just keep on the feet. Don't go to the ground. Jerry is at a point where every time he's getting taken down, he's reversing it and having success of, using his weight and just kind of teetering towards the way going on top of Glover. I'm like, okay, that's going to happen. And out of nowhere, he gets his submission and it was over. I was surprised. I think even the commentators too, like, what did he get him with? Like, he got it? Like, crazy fight, but I love it. I
Probably
hope
one of the
I
greatest
love
light
a
heavyweight
rematch.
fights. Probably of all, right? I would probably say.
Yeah, I mean, it's up there in my opinion. It's up there with the first Hendo Shogun fight for sure.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
That for sure.
That's for sure.
I
Well
wanted to
said.
ask you guys. I had a quote here by Anthony Smith. He put, "I think Jiri had one of the worst performances he could have possibly had. They just made both terrible decisions. Like the fight IQ, if it was put together, it wouldn't go double digits. They both just didn't want to fight smart at all. I'm not being critical. I think they both fought with bravery, but I'm also an analyst, and so I can analyze. Their performances were awful."
What?
I want you guys think. What do you guys think about that quote by Anthony Smith?
I see what you're saying. Yuri is a better striker than what was revealed in that fight, and obviously Glover is a better sub guy. A guy with only 3 submissions submitting a guy who has never been tapped in his entire career isn't how MMA math is supposed to work. Yeah, it was a sloppy fight. It was not a tactical sports event at all, but sometimes that's just is what it is. You know, like some people are George St. Pierre their entire career, and some people go out there and just I don't even think they were trying to be entertaining. I think that they just didn't really have answers for each other and were making shit up as they went. Yuri looked real weird. I don't know. I know that he was doing what I think Yuri is the one who had a quote that said something like, "I've only fought tactical fighters, so I know how to not fight tactical for someone who's expecting tactical." Something like that. And I think that's kind of what he did because he was doing this weird, like, Keith Jardine thing the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, I don't know what I'm seeing because I'm just a guy on a podcast, but.
No, what do you mean? You're a director, man. You're fucking awesome, man.
I have to try white belt in jiu-jitsu, brother. That's about it. He won the fight. I don't really at that point. He won the fight, and I don't think that's a reflection of both fighters' careers. Hopefully, you know, my pick was obviously for Teixeira submission round 2. I was rooting for whoever was winning the fight while they were winning the fight. I was like, goddamn, holy shit. Oh wow. The fact that Yuri got out of everything that he got out of, props to him. The fact that Glover didn't get knocked out, props to him. Glover did mention that in the 5th round, the body shots, which I saw those coming and I could hear them, like they were, I don't want to say they were telegraphed. I've never been hit. I don't know what it's like to fight a guy who's that good at fighting, but like you could see it coming and you're like, that is going to land. That's going to be bad. And I can see how that did the damage to get Glover to not have the gas to defend the sub. I can understand from that point of view. Is it reflective of how good both fighters are? Not really, but who gives a shit? The right fighter won because he won. You know, like no one cheated. Exactly. It was a war. It wasn't a athletic competition.
Agreed. 100%.
Those are my thoughts. That's how I feel. I was entertained, and that is kind of what matters sometimes.
Yeah. No, you know what, director? You well said, man. Well said. Well, fucking said.
I mean, you're fighting the 2 best, one of the best ground guys in the world in the division versus the best stand-up guy allegedly in the division. Yeah. Allegedly, you know, I haven't seen him more, you know, fight other. He's only had his 3rd fight in the UFC. I haven't seen him against other fighters in the UFC to really have a big measuring stick. He knocked out Stevie Dalloway, but I mean, who hasn't? An elevator knocked him out.
Man. I mean, there's to add on. It just. Mind you, this is the first ever submission for, for Glover, first of all. Most of his losses have been knockouts or decisions.
Yeah, and this wasn't like Frank Mir tapping out Nogueira.
No.
This wasn't some guy who's great at the ground just subbing a guy who just is better at the ground, because this was like, I don't even know this would be like, I can't even imagine another who's a great, like, this is like Ramon Decker submitting Fedor or some shit. Like I don't even know, like I don't know what to compare it to. I can't compare it to anybody.
Not Fedor though. No Fedor here. Right?
It's weird.
No Fedor. You got Alex so hyped up.
Okay, say it right.
Yes, whatever.
This is like Izzy subbing, I don't know, Teixeira.
But this is oh man, I was really. I'm like Richard and Alex, pacing around. I was like really hoping 30 more seconds. Hang on, you're gonna retain.
Yeah.
Honestly, I swear, if it would have gone down by decision, it would have gone a split decision, in my opinion, because the way how.
Yeah, probably with that 28. That's a good point. I didn't even look at it.
Yeah.
What ifs don't really matter, but I never looked at it like that.
Yeah, because look, the way how I feel, especially with the quote that Richard said, but look, here's the thing: you have two fighters that for the first time are fighting each other. They're both nervous, especially Jiri. That's his first main event in the UFC, being nervous as well because you don't know what's. You hear the story in the background.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy's a great heavy hitter. Oh, this guy's a great submissionist. You're always going to hear that in the background. You're always going to hear their credential, what they've done in the past. So you're always going to be expecting something out of that.
Yeah.
So for them to, for Smith to say that, I get his point. But then again, you have to clearly understand that these are first-time fighters. They're fighting each other for the main belt, and of course they have to be strategic. You got to see what do they have to use, in order to, obviously win the fight. And Glover, what he did, proved a point to a lot of people that were really expecting Jiri to knock him out of either the first, second round, and did not. Glover did a fantastic job of what he did, especially, pretty much taking him to the ground as well. And the first two rounds, I felt like, Glover took it for sure. And did not expect that from Jiri to, actually allow it to happen. I did not expect that, but it is Glover. He is, a jiu-jitsu artist. So, I mean, this was, a fight of the year for sure. And, and he took Jiri to the distance. And you could tell Glover both of these guys were tired. They were done. They were just really done. And especially in the fourth round, you could tell that it was like towards the end. And yes, there was a lot of close submissions that Glover could have just hang on a little bit and could have made him tap out. I was like, come on, make him tap. What are you doing? He didn't do it. I was like, son of a bitch. I was so fucking pissed. I was so fucking pissed. I was like, no. And then, the fifth round. Oh, man. Just seeing Glover tapping out, I was cringing.
It's cool.
I was, because I really wanted. I honestly, if it would have gone by a split decision, I think they would have given it to Glover. Why? Because he won the first two rounds. Yeah. Clearly, he won the first two rounds. And he proved the point that even a heavy hitter like Jiri was nothing to him. And,
Jiri, also, if he didn't get submitted, he probably wouldn't have won the last round too.
Right, yes. Agreed with that. And like I said, I'm happy for both of these guys' performance. And then not only that, now that Jiri is the champion, guess who's gonna go right after? Because right after that, when he was walking down the aisle with the belt, Blachowicz, of course, talking shit with Jiri. So we're gonna see that for sure. And he's number 2 in the rankings as well. So I mean, or 3, I think now, but I have to double check. But I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Glover's number 1's contender. 2 is
okay. There you go. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. But this was fight. This is gonna be fight of the year, man. I enjoyed it. It was awesome to see Glover. And when they asked Glover, "Are you done?" He said no.
Oh yeah,
no. And I'm happy that
he'll probably get a rematch. You don't think you probably?
This should be a rematch. That's what I was trying to say. If it would have gone split decision and given it to Glover, automatic rematch should have happened because it would have been questionable. For everywhere in the MMA community world, they would have been like, "What the hell? Why is this a split decision giving it to Glover?" I think that could have been the case if Glover would have hanged on for those 30 seconds. That I feel would have been the ending, and automatically it would have been talked about, controversial rematch, automatically. But kudos to Jiri, and then now him going to his home country, Czech Republic, showing the belt off. Hands down to congratulations to him. But I cannot wait to see Glover back in title contention. Awesome fight of the year.
I think the fight, I don't know what the conditions are with COVID because we're still dealing with that internationally. I know that UFC is sort of testing the international waters. They need to go to Strahov Stadium and check Jan versus Jiri in December. Not even December, late fall. September, October, right? Yeah. October.
Added with the Dillashaw and Sterling.
They need to branch out to Eastern Bloc. They obviously aren't going back to Russia anytime soon. They're
Why not?
I don't know.
I wonder why. I don't know.
You might have to ask Interpol about that one. There might be something. They've never been to Czech Republic. They've never been really to. I can name every country in Europe that they've been to, and most, Eastern Bloc countries they've never been to. I don't even think they've been to Zagreb. As far as like where the culture is, they're working on something in France. I think France is actually pretty close to being done or is done for Ngannou, I think. But yeah, I would love to. Prague's a huge, beautiful country with a huge fight community. And obviously Poland is not too far away. So market-wise, champion, you have the right champion. You got the tickets to sell. Let's and I don't think Jan doesn't deserve it. That would be a great fight. So that's my thoughts.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right.
So Anthony Smith made a tactical error when he didn't steal the belt from John Jones when he got kneed in the face illegally. He played the honorable guy and said, "I'm fine," and continued to fight. Where if
obviously not reading from the book of Aljo.
Right. Aljo.
Aljo may or may not have done the right thing. He got the rematch and won it. So, is what it is.
Yep. Yeah. So point, and also stealing the belt from a cheater and a scumbag, that's not dishonorable.
Are
if
you
you're
referring to Jones or to Jan?
Oh, to Jones.
Okay.
Jones.
I feel you on that. No disagrees on this end.
What did I miss about Jan?
That he cheated in the fight by throwing the down to knee.
Oh! I was thinking light heavyweight Jan Blachowicz.
Oh no, my bad. Peter Jan.
Yeah. Peter Jan. Petr Jan. Yeah. Okay. So Anthony
Jan
Smith
Blachowicz isn't real. He can't hurt you.
Anthony Smith missed his title shot, made a tactical error, is ranked number 5 right now. So how do you find relevance at number 5 when there's 4 guys ranked above you, and the guy that just got his ass beat or just got choked out knocks your fucking teeth out? How do you jockey for position? Well, you make a quote like, "Oh, these guys are not being tactical. They're not fighting smart. They're blah, 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 blah." Bro, that's the guy that knocked your fucking teeth out.
Yeah.
And you're going to talk shit? Hey, okay. So I think that's why Anthony Smith is making that quote, and that's not a tactical error. That's actually his best shot of regaining relevance and getting a rematch with Glover. Right?
Yep.
So the fight, you guys already said, yeah, it's up there. It's number 2 right after Shogun Hendo. Shogun Hendo 1 is the best light heavyweight fight so far.
Hands down, yes.
And this is probably number 2.
Because no one in the Hendo Shogun fight were like, they weren't tactical, they weren't fighting smart, they weren't fighting to the best of their ability. Dude, in the 3rd round, Hendo goes 4th round, and Herbine was like, "No, brother, you got 2 more to go." Like, that's how wild that fight was.
They were leaving it out there.
And the audience is so conditioned to seeing some bitch ass bullshit, and that's the technical term for it from the professional in the industry, where you're going bell to bell, you're trying to win the rounds, you're trying not to lose the fight. That when it's an actual fucking fight, they're like, "Oh, they're not being tactical." Yeah, because they're fucking fighting. Oh well, it's not a technical chess match, athletic. It's a fight. You go out there and and these guys were both getting rocked. They were both getting rocked, and you don't. how tactical, how technical, how smart can you be when you're in that kind of pain, when you're just trying to keep your feet under you? And I think that people are speaking out of ignorance. They haven't been in that position. They haven't. First of all, they've never been hit in the body like that. And they've never been hit on the chin like that. So when you're getting both,
I've been gassed in 4 minutes of jiu-jitsu sparring and thought my life was ending. I can't imagine what it's like to be in that position and also getting punched.
yeah, that's one of my pet peeves. Rolling, calling it sparring. That really
rolling.
bothers me.
Rolling.
There you go. It's a common thing now, and I'm the one that's wrong. I'm the one that's wrong. But it old school. It's like it's rolling. There's no hitting. Yeah. It's not sparring.
I feel like I knew that. I was just whatever.
Yeah. No. Anyway, I'm just being an asshole.
Yeah, you are what you eat.
So.
People still watching. Fight IQ, he's still in the room with us.
I don't have a rebuttal for that. Okay, so the other thing, as I was watching, are we still on butt jokes? Okay.
It's just director caught us off guard on that shit.
Yeah. So, as I was watching this, I was not the first time I watched it. As our last podcast, I was low key alluding to my concern that there might be some organized crime involvement in the fight world, because traditionally there's always been organized crime in combat sports, always. So Glover's connection to the illegal fighting, all that, that made me really concerned about the La Cosa Nostra being entangled. So I'm watching for signs of a fixed fight. So I'm not watching the fight as a fight. And then about halfway through the fight, I was like, holy shit. This is actually a really good fight that's happening. And there's no fuckery going on. And it's actually a really huge relief for me being in the industry and knowing all the behind the scenes shit that's going on. It's like, oh, good. So that's something that my fighters and I don't need to worry about, where 10, 15 years ago, we had to maneuver carefully. So that was very exciting for me, very positive to see that this was a real fight, no entanglement with questionable people, and it was a great fight. So what happens next? If you look at the rankings, right? Yuri is the champion. Jan is next. Raychik, and then Ankalaev. Those are all really strong challengers, right? Yeah. And Yuri is a problem. Yuri's a problem because he's so unorthodox, and so athletic, and his mindset. He really, really understands the martial arts mindset, the Zen, what we call Budo. He's really tapped in. He's tuned in. He's got some technical stuff to work on, but if he did not get submitted by Glover, no one else is going to be able to touch him. So
yeah, like who's a better sub guy in that division than Glover? Nobody.
Yeah.
Well,
who Who's even close?
Craig pulled out some wild shit, but he's pulled out wild shit against guys who are not clever, you know.
But Paul Craig's not going to survive the stand-up. Anthony Smith is not going to survive the stand-up. Ankalev, that could be interesting to see. And Jan Blachowicz could present some problems, right? But yeah, he's old too, right?
Yeah.
Blachowicz
He's late 30s, I believe. Yeah.
Does anyone have data on Jan? I think he's.
Yeah, I got it right here. I think
he's 40.
He's 39. Warsaw, Poland. Let's see here. He's a close friend of UFC fighter Tom Wall, who I remember trains in San Diego sometimes, had an injury. He moved to Warsaw back with his girlfriend, trains in Octagon Ribnik. At Pawanat Kuliswap, who is a great sub guy. I'm reading the Wikipedia guy.
So
I don't know that much.
So Jan is he's on the wrong side of the hill. So 37 is retirement age.
Yeah, 36 is prime for most sports, not MMA.
Yeah, so yeah, exactly, right? So you have 34 to 37 to really do what you're going to do, and then after 37 you're on your decline. Now we've been pushing that back with better recovery, better diet, better science, but and there's some outliers. Obviously, Glover's one of them. But so that's my concern with Jan. Is that, man, he's 40, so
yeah. Okay. Cool. There you go, director.
No, I mean, I'm not going to disagree with anything. He just repeated what I said. But we do have to go over the scores. I have the 3 submissions that were put into Tapology by Richard, Alex, and myself. In third place, at 200 points, 3 out of 11 fights correct.
Fuck.
Alex.
Damn, 211.
Second place, 6 of 11 with 365 points. Yours truly. A little more than half. My Tapology overall picks, I've been doing it for like 10 years. I'm at 54% correct picks, which is pretty good. That's enough to go to Vegas with and not feel intimidated by the betting odds. In first place, at 505 points, 8 of 11 correct. And new Tapology champion.
Woo!
And what is this, your first, second, third, fourth time? Richard Mares.
Yeah!
Come on!
Yes!
Finally!
Yes!
Time.
Yes! About fucking time! Yes!
It's time. When I felt like it, I'm going to be a humble champion, but I knew it. 8 of those got the submission. Now I'm saying I did that on purpose.
Took you 2 years?
That accidental pick definitely knocked it out the park.
My thumb had a mind of its own. I want to thank my thumb for picking the wrong pick. And then being the right pick.
I know you didn't pick
thumb.
it
I love
Monday,
you.
so
Thank you.
You get forgiveness on that.
Thank you for picking the submission.
Congratulations, brother. Well fucking said. Hey, what? Finally! No Alex, all right? No Alex!
50 losing streak. 50 events losing streak.
Losing streak. Well, I'm not going to lose a title every other show. I'm going to keep this. I'm going to try to do a long streak, and we'll see from there.
Yeah, that is not the 205 title no more, right? That's just not getting passed around like Sonny.
No.
At the pro wrestling reference.
No.
I love that joke. It never gets old, but he does. Anyways, yeah, congratulations. That was awesome. A great card to watch. I watched obviously the whole thing. I can't wait to come back for 276. I peeked the card tonight, and that is going to be on paper.
It's a good
fantastic card. You never know. You never know with these fights, man. Like, that's what I love about it. The most exciting fighters can put on a pretty unentertaining fight after the fact, or like 275 fight of the year, fight card of the year so far as well. Ivan, what do you got to close this out for?
Man, brother, you're absolutely right. Well said, director. We'll be back in 2 weeks for another episode of MMA, episode 19, for how the director mentioned for 276, because in 2 weeks from today, July 2nd, is when that event will occur. Of course, Adesanya versus Jared Cannonier, Volkanovski versus Max Holloway, Strickland versus Pereira, Murphy Tate, Sean O'Malley, Pedro Munoz. So, man, woo! It is going to be flanders of a card, I'll tell you that right now, because this card, and then not only that, forgot to mention to you guys too, which I'm pretty sure you guys are aware, which I think I don't know if you guys want to cover it, but we'll talk about it in 2 weeks. And that is ABC, UFC at ABC. That's on July 16th. That's Brian Ortega versus Yara Rodriguez. And Shane Bruno versus Charles.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Is that in America or is that in Mexico?
That is going to be in America, in New York.
Oh shit!
Yeah, so I think we can cover that too as well. New York, New York.
UFC on ABC 3.
Yes, on ABC 3. That is right.
Wow.
That is, man. We should cover that one too. I'm looking forward to this. Yeah, that's a good card. If you look at that, it's a good card.
Yeah, it's not bad. I like Ricky Simone. I like Chael Watterson, obviously legend.
We should crown a new fight night champion. It'll be a second belt.
No, hey, I'd say
no, stop!
No.
Get out of that
Not
house.
doing it. Too many fights. I just like to watch them.
Fight nights are actually harder to predict.
I'm the Joe Rogan of podcasting. I only talk about the big cards.
Very, very true. Yeah, that is right. He is.
Future is bright, gentlemen. Looking for many title defenses. This is the cringiest promo copying a
Not
playbook
bad, though.
from Alex's cringy promos back in the day.
Here's your belt, Richard.
Yeah,
Here's your belt.
Yeah.
Here's your belt.
Thank you.
Let's start
Thank
putting
you.
rubies on it every time he defends it.
Stop putting
Just like-
rubies.
Right?
Line them up.
But yes, just make sure, ladies and gentlemen, you subscribe and follow our brothers here on Championship on the Line podcast. Make sure you follow them. They provide you not only just pro wrestling, but MMA and boxing as well. Which you earlier, I don't know if you saw it, Coach, but Alex was giving you that no when you talk about boxing is corrupted.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
It's not cool.
Yeah, I saw that. It's not cool, man. I did not
Listen to the Fedor comments.
Alex, water is wet. And boxing is corrupt.
Yeah, but they're doing something right. They're getting paid more than the UFC guys, so they're doing something right.
It's been around for like
Hell,
100 years.
Yes.
They're doing
Yes.
something right.
Yes.
And don't
Some of
forget
them-
too as well.
Some of them are getting paid more than the UFC, but most of them are broke.
Most of
Corrupt.
them, which is like 85% of them.
Exactly.
And don't forget to follow Coach Rage, ladies and gentlemen, on all his social media platforms. The description is right below. And of course, if you want to be part of the EYR division, hit this man up. He's looking for the baddest, toughest females and the baddest, intense males that has that rage inside of them. Make sure
I already don't qualify as any of those things.
you do qualify, but you just don't want
Hey, so in 10 days, guys, 10 days, June 25th, Commerce Casino.
Ooh,
Fighters Rep 14. I got 2 fighters on the card. I got Michael Sugarbomb Claycomb and Raymond Solo Martinez.
Oh, that is right. So make sure
Nice.
you click on the coach's bio. He'll have the link information as well for it, and we'll put it down as well. June 25th at Commerce Casino. Make sure you go and support the coach as well. 2 of his fighters will be fighting. Make sure you tune in. And if you're not in attendance, tune in as well. So make sure you do, because that's going to be very intriguing to see. And I want to see the coach losing his mind anyways. So I do want to see that. I do want to see that. And once again, congratulations to Richard Butt as the new Tapology World Champion. That's right. No, Alex, I'm glad. But yes, and of course,
3-11. Gosh.
But yes, ladies and gentlemen, we will be back 2 weeks from tonight. We'll be discussing for 276. And of course, this is your moderator, the host, Devious Gun, and the host with the most that takes it coast to coast with Fate Destroyed, especially because he runs this show like it's like mwah, chef's kiss, because that's what he does right there. You see, besides MMA, he does that too. That's the director himself, Chris Kennedy. And over here in the best MMA podcast in Southern California, We don't just podcast, we make history.